You're already in a better financial situation than one-third of Americans if you have at least $400 saved for an unforeseen catastrophe. The Federal Reserve claims. It's common knowledge that the majority of people handle their money poorly, and that there aren't many responsible individuals. Here are some common reasons people go bankrupt and how to avoid them, so you can be sure you're not making these mistakes that could keep you broke forever. Having a healthy relationship with money doesn't necessarily mean being ultra-wealthy or earning a high income either. This simply means that you make responsible choices, aren't making careless decisions on a regular basis, and are comfortable with your income and expenses. If you're interested in bettering your financial future, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. If this video is useful, please share it with others. Without clear financial goals, every financial decision you make with money will be based on your financial situation. My name is Elon. How are you going to reduce your workload, pay off debt, or raise your income? If you are not guided. When you create financial objectives, you're essentially charting a course for your future. For example, deciding to become debt-free within 3 years is a clear, specific objective that you can use to carry out a strategy that will bring you there. Want to earn twice as much next year? What are some actions you can do right now to make that a reality? Whether your aim is to save $10,000, pay cash for a new car, or buy a new house, the first step towards not being broke is to decide exactly where you want to be financially and when you want to get there. Each of these objectives has a clear end point. They don't make emergency plans. Given that one-third of the population lacks $400 in emergency funds, this might be an obvious issue. Unexpected costs are frequent, and $400 isn't particularly a big sum of money for this kind of issue. AAA estimates that the typical cost of auto repairs is between $500 and $5,000. You're setting yourself up for financial catastrophe if you can't figure out how to save for unexpected expenses. What happens if you get fired? What happens if you require dental work? When you're unprepared to pay an unexpected $400 bill? You'll have to find alternative sources of funding, including taking on credit card debt. Then, in addition to struggling to save money for emergencies, you'll also find it difficult to pay off the debt at unreasonably high interest rates. They have no budget. People who don't live on a budget are mostly to blame for their continued financial instability. Only roughly 41% of Americans keep to a budget, according to U.S. Bank. The issue is that it's very difficult to determine how much money you spend on different categories if you don't keep track of your earnings and outlays. This is crucial if you've ever been paid, made a few purchases, and then felt as though you had no money left over, leaving you to wonder where it was all spent. Because it can be unsettling to see all of your costs and income listed on a spreadsheet, budgeting may have a bad reputation. Nonetheless, this can be a very effective practice, particularly for people attempting to take charge of their financial situation. They don't consider what lies ahead. The desire to spend money and enjoy life now rather than save for the day they are too old to enjoy their money is one of the most frequent justifications given by people for their unsatisfactory financial status. It seems sense that some people wait until they are in their 50s, 60s, or even 70s before they want to pinch every penny. Planning during your younger years should not be sacrificed in favor of a perhaps opulent retirement. But it's crucial to find the ideal balance between planning ahead and enjoying yourself. Right now, you want to make wise investments for the future while also enjoying life to the fullest of your youth. Most people would concur that striking the correct balance entails spending money that permits you to enjoy yourself as well as making judgments that will help you in the long run. They now have costly habits. It's not just the wealthy who have costly habits. One of the things preventing the impoverished from rising above the rest is the multitude of costly habits they have. One costly habit that costs more money than most people realize is smoking. A smoker would spend more than $200 a month if they smoked 1 pack of cigarettes a day at a cost of $7. Now, what percentage of smokers would say that they don't have enough money to invest $200 a month for their future? Regular dining out is another costly habit. This goes beyond simply getting takeout a few times a month. This is frequently eating more than at home when dining out. Spending $50 on a supper out is nothing to people, yet they later claim they don't have $50 and it's not a big problem. However, in order to make a difference, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you should avoid making an expense like this 2, 3, or 4 times a week on average. If not, you have bad debt. Not every debt is made equally. Generally speaking, there are 2 types of debt: good debt, or money borrowed for productive purposes. This could be compared to a mortgage on an apartment building. The second thing that usually springs to mind is bad debt. This sum of money was borrowed to buy assets that are losing value. These include the majority of items purchased with credit cards, as well as things like clothing, vehicles, and trips. In addition to paying interest rather than earning income when you use bad debt, the things lose value and have no residual worth. In addition, debt enables people to make purchases they otherwise couldn't afford. For example, if someone wants a new automobile but can't afford to pay cash, they can finance the purchase instead of paying for it outright. They are currently giving the lender interest. They shouldn't have bought the car in the first place because it was too expensive and depreciates quickly. As they say, interest is earned by the rich. The underprivileged bear the cost. To win people over, they spend money. Most individuals use money to purchase items they don't need, as Dave Ramsey points out. They are not required to win over those they dislike. He continues, trying to impress people will make you broke faster than anything else. As absurd as it may sound, these kinds of thoughts and actions are frequent and occur frequently. Many people buy things to flaunt in front of others because they believe that if they appear wealthy, others would be jealous and inspired by their accomplishments. The problem is, even while you can have a brief sense of satisfaction after making a significant purchase to appear nice, that sensation will not last. Long after that first impression to those folks, that purchase may set you back financially. This is a losing battle, and the financial loss for this fleeting sensation of fulfillment is typically not worth it. They never give themselves a raise. Paying yourself first is one of the simplest methods to improve your finances that most impoverished people don't do, aside from making wise purchasing selections. It's critical to realize that saving money is not a sufficient means of accumulating wealth when striving to advance. Your money must be invested regularly over an extended length of time. An easy and painless approach to invest automatically is to set aside a portion of each paycheck for investing. In this manner, you can avoid missing out on money and avoid having to decide whether or not to invest regularly. If that money just sits there in your account, burning a hole in your pocket, you'll feel like you have more money than you actually have, and you can end up spending it on things that you can't even recall most of the time.